everyone, I'm Roxie with the Wayne County Area Chamber of Commerce, and I am joined today with Justin Burkhardt from Reid Health. Justin, welcome.
Hi, thanks for having me.
So Justin, you and I know each other, but why don't you tell our audience a little bit about yourself and what you do?
So I am a Wayne County native, born and raised in Richmond, grew up on West Main Street, graduate from Richmond High School. And upon graduating from Richmond High School, went to Miami University in Oxford, Ohio. And then upon graduating from there, I took a job with Cincinnati Children's Hospital and the foundation there. Not knowing anything about foundation work and completely fell in love with it. I got married to Abby Rodefeld, and she's also a Richmond native. And we decided to ultimately move back and start a family and raise our family here. So I've been back ever since, I think since 2010, and held jobs at Wernley for a year and Boys and Girls Club, which I'm really passionate about, before coming here to the hospital and becoming the director of the foundation here at Reid Health.
What does that role entail?
So, foundations are set up differently across America, nonprofits, and our foundation is a Type 3 supporting organization. We raise money here at Reid Health Foundation solely for the hospital. So we work with the generous donors in Richmond, Wayne County, and beyond. And we plug in their dedication and their resources into the hospital. And we have departments elsewhere in the hospital, marketing, community benefit, that support outbound organizations. But in the foundation here, we have over 40 funds, and we support Reid and its mission.
Great. Phenomenal work that you're doing with the foundation. You mentioned that you'd worked at many different places before you landed your career at Reid. How did those jobs shape you, and what skills did you develop?
Well, I think mainly as a 21-year-old in college, I had absolutely no idea what I was going to do, what I wanted to do. I just knew I needed to make money fast because I had student loan debt that I was going to need to start paying on ultimately. And so I, just by sheer luck, got a job in the foundation at Cincinnati Children's and learned what that was like. I had no idea that this work even existed when I was in high school and in college. And the field is really made up of a lot of sales professionals, relationship builders. I think you need a strong business sense to be able to work with a lot of these highly skilled people, very, very intelligent with their money and donations. And as you know, in the community, there are tons of great causes. And so it's important that you find the people that are interested in healthcare and then you get them plugged in and you show them the results from what they're doing. So, I had no idea. I just lucked out. And, there's not a lot of fundraising jobs in Richmond or Wayne County, whereas in colleges and things like that, there's plenty of those positions available.
Great. Justin, I know on a personal level, you're involved in quite a few organizations in our community, nonprofit boards. Talk a little bit about that.
So I'm not sure if it was luck or if I was the victim, but I was plugged in quickly. My kids go to Seton Catholic schools. I have 3 kids and they're all in Seton. And I was asked to join the board there. And after a couple years, I'm actually going into my 6th and final year on that board. And I'm currently the chairperson, which is ironic because school was not my favorite thing. So I'm involved there at the school, and really just trying to make sure that education and the opportunities are there for my kids and other kids. I'm really passionate about Boys and Girls Club of Wayne County. As I said, I worked there for a year. Bruce and Jennifer and David that work there, and Alicia, and all the people are just doing tremendous work for the kids that need them most in our community. And weirdly enough, they're growing just like crazy because there's more need today than ever before. So I'm really passionate about Boys and Girls Club and the things that they're doing. And I'm also a member of the Brighter Path Board too, because that's important work. I've never actually been on a horse. Again, it's therapeutic horse riding. But the ability to serve kids and to serve kids with anxiety, with mental, physical disability is just so important and very important to me. I once thought that I wanted to be a special education teacher, and teaching just wasn't really for me. So those are the organizations that I'm directly involved in.
Well, that's great. What would you tell other young professionals about getting involved? You're a great example of getting involved and what that means. How would you guide someone through that process?
Well, I think, what makes Wayne County unique is the fabric of the community. We're a diverse community. We're an old, Richmond, Wayne County has been around for a very long time. So we have a lot of history. One of the things that I would say is that getting involved in, you'll always help make a change for better. As you know, it's always easier to go on social media and complain about something.
Absolutely.
But, I feel like if you do get involved and you can make positive change and you can be the difference. Whereas in a big city, it's obviously harder to make a significant change. But here, it's almost a necessity that if you're gonna live here, you need to be a part of it. You need to be the one making a difference, so that generations after us get something good.
That's great advice, Justin. Thank you.
Yeah.
Who has been a mentor to you, someone who shaped you professionally?
Yeah, I think that's a really tough one because I've got three people that I really look to, and my mom for grit and sacrifice that she always made. My wife, Abby, is probably the best human that I know. She sees all good in everything. But professionally, I would say that Gary Clear, the president of First Bank Richmond, is somebody who he gets it. And it's clear that giving back, being a great employee, being a great employer in the community. He's always the MC at every event. I think he's won every award, and there's a reason for that. He would do anything for anybody, and I really look to him to how can I be Gary Clear as I age, because I want to make that kind of difference in Richmond.
Gary is such a vital role at the chamber. He doesn't serve on our board, but First Bank Richmond is one of our largest partners, and also the School is Cool program was Gary and Mr. Wetzel's, one of their brainchilds. And so I love getting to see them hand out the awards and be a big part of that each year. They do incredible work. Yeah. So talk a little bit about what you do outside of work and outside of your nonprofits. What are some of your hobbies?
Well, family is important, with three little kids. We are doing a little bit of this and a little bit of that. I like spending time on the water. We go over to Lochengrin Lake over in Eaton a little bit. We really enjoy Hayes Arboretum and being on the trails there. the Cardinal Greenway is an asset that's just mind-blowing. We absolutely love the Cardinal Greenway and the work that they're doing. Brian is tremendous. You know, I enjoy cycling. I enjoy building things out of wood, even though it's not always straight and centered, and I'm an aspiring grill master as well. So,
okay.
Yeah, so for whatever that means. But yeah, those are things that building things and grilling things are things that I enjoy to do on the side. So.
Justin, one of the things you talked about when you introduced yourself, you said you worked in Cincinnati, but you and Abby decided to make Wayne County home. Why Wayne County?
Yeah, I think that, again, kind of going back to another thing that I said, you know, the fabric of this community, the diversity, and growing up here. And, you know, this is a community that I played basketball as a kid at the boys club before it was Boys and Girls Club, and at Townsend Center that obviously is getting a great facelift right now, and the old Y as well. So, you know, I think the single greatest part about Wayne County is the people, and COVID, the pandemic has really kind of opened my eyes to that, because we got to see what we were made of, what everyone was made of. And being at the hospital, I got to see firsthand how everyone came together. And it wasn't about greed. It wasn't about this or that. It was about taking care of our neighbors. So we wanted to come back, and we wanted to be a part of this community and to be with these people in the community. And, you know, we have great healthcare here. We have great schools here. And we have options. You know, if you want to do, you want Indian food, you want homemade ice cream, we have everything here.
So speaking of the places to eat, we always ask our interviewees, where do you love to eat in Wayne County?
Yeah. You know, a lot of places have great atmosphere. The live music down at the firehouse, you know, Golzar's, I've eaten there a lot, and, you know, that's pretty authentic Indian food. It's pretty awesome. Pizza is probably our family favorite. So Americana and Big Boys, we frequent those places. You have to have Pizza King. You have to love Pizza King. But we're trying to school our kids that, you know, Americana and Big Boys, you know, anything that's cut and square is better than a regular pizza slice. So.
Exactly.
Yeah, those are our favorites.
Is there other advice that you would give young professionals who are hoping to either move into a role similar to yours or just to be successful in Wayne County?
I think the biggest thing for me, you know, never stop investing in yourself. Most recently in May, I graduated from Indiana University East with a master's in management, which again, IU East is an incredible asset that this community has, along with Ivy Tech and Earlham. You know, I think investing in yourself and being selfish when it comes to that, always reading. I think one of the most important things I did too, getting involved, you get to meet people like Gary Clear, that will then introduce you to other organizations and other people. He actually was the one that introduced me to Bruce Daggy at the Boys and Girls Club. So you have to get to know the people that are making the positive change, and when they figure out that you want the same, they'll plug you in. So I think continuing education is important, which again, I forgot Purdue in that initial conversation too, but IU East and Earlham and Ivy Tech and Purdue, those guys are doing great things.
Well, thank you, Justin, for joining me today. I really
Yeah.
appreciate you taking your time out. For those of you who don't know, each month, Hype Wayne County highlights one young professional and the work they're doing in our community. Not only do they do this video and get a social media plug, but they also get introduced to the Wayne County Chamber Board of Directors, which is comprised of business owners in our community. So, Justin, I'm really excited to have you join us.
Awesome. Thanks for having me.
Welcome, Kayla Short.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Yes, I'm so excited to have you. You and I worked together on some projects throughout the time since you've been back in Wayne County. We also went to school together, so we've known each other for a while now. Why don't you tell everyone a little bit about who you are professionally, and then we'll talk about your life personally.
Well, my name is Kayla Short, and I am an attorney here in town. I practice at Knoll, Kolger, Sowers, and Metzger, and I just have a general practice, and I'm also a domestic relations mediator.
Yes, that's fantastic. And we love having you here. I know that you've kind of jumped in and you're working with that. You're the youngest person in that office. And so that's been kind of fun to see that interaction and that, what you've been doing in that office. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself personally and how you ended up back in Wayne County?
Well, I was born and raised in Richmond. So as you said, we went to school together. I think I've known you since middle school approximately. So I graduated from Richmond in 2010, and then I went to college at the University of Indianapolis, and then I did my law degree at IU McKinney, which is also in Indianapolis. And then during my law school, whenever I was on the verge of completing that, my dad was diagnosed with terminal cancer. And so I came home originally just to study for the bar and to help take care of him. But once I got here, I was able to get a job and just really realized some of the opportunities that were here that I maybe wouldn't have had in Indianapolis. And so I decided to stay, and it's been a long-term thing. So now I'm married to someone I met actually at a Hype event, and
Yes.
yeah, we're settled down here and gonna stay here long-term.
That's so exciting. I love hearing people say, like, I came back just for like this short period of time. My story is very similar to yours. And then they realize, like, hey, there's some really neat opportunities here, and I can really be utilized, and my strengths will be well fit in this community. So I'm excited to hear you say that. A law degree is no easy task. How did you decide that you wanted to go to school for a law degree? What was kind of your path to get there?
Well, it's actually an interesting story. I was somebody who always knew I wanted to go to law school from a very young age. I usually tell people that I was in 7th grade, and I don't know if you remember Miss Bronston from
Yes, of
Test.
course. Yeah.
She used to say, if you don't know your rights, you don't have any. And I really took that to heart, and that kind of set me on the path to be a lawyer. And there were other things along the way, but that was kind of okay, this is what I want to do. And from 7th grade on, it was, okay, I need to go get this degree and then go to law school.
That's amazing. I love to hear how middle school and elementary teachers, and we know high school teachers shape students, but when you hear about something a teacher said to you at such a young age that stuck with you, it's such an interesting story because it's pivotal to everything you've done since that moment.
Mm-hmm.
What did you, when you were in middle school or elementary school, before wanting to be an attorney, what did you want to be when you grew up?
Actually, I wanted to be a vet until my sister told me that I would have to put animals to sleep, and I just don't think I have the heart to do that.
No.
So that changed my career path to something else.
And Kayla, you're not just an attorney, you do some other things on the side too. Do you want to talk about those?
Yeah, so I have a dance background. I've been dancing for a long time. I danced here locally at the Next Step Dance Studio, and then I danced for the Richmond High School Devilettes, and then in college, and then I went on to be a PaceMate with the Indiana Pacers. And then coming back, I started teaching at the same studio that I grew up at. And so I teach classes a couple times a week there. And then I also teach group fitness classes that have been affected by the pandemic probably more than anything else. But we are hopefully getting back to the point where those can start running full steam eventually. I'm still praying that comes back and we're able to do it safely. So
you have been a dance coach for Dancing with the Stars. You've been involved in a lot of young, professionals doing a lot of great things in the community. Why do you choose to get involved in things like that?
Well, one of the things I love about living here and like living where I grew up is that there are so many opportunities to get involved. And it's up to you as an individual to take advantage of those opportunities. But I feel like since I've been able to use these and have such great experiences, I want to bring that back and give back to people and make this community special.
Yeah, I love that you're using the talent you've had to change, and like Dancing with the Stars, for example, you're coaching teams up to dance, but they're raising a ton of money, and so you're a vital part of that event, and that's a lot of fun to do, and you're changing things as you go, and so that's fun. Is there some kind of advice maybe that you would give as if you were mentoring somebody? What would you say to a young professional who is either looking to go into law school or maybe move back to Wayne County? Is there advice you'd give them?
My thinking on giving advice to people is the best advice I've ever received is just keep your mind open, because you never know what opportunities are going to come your way. And so if you're so set on one path, you may completely ignore another opportunity that comes your way. And something that goes hand in hand with that is being ready to accept the opportunities that are in front of you. I think a lot of times young people in particular say, I'm not ready to do this, or I don't have the skill set that's necessary to be able to do this. And part of being able to do things is learning on the job and taking advantage of those as they're presented to you.
One thing I've learned since being at the chamber specifically is that when an opportunity presents itself, if you don't think you're ready for it, surround yourself with the people who will get you there and help you learn, and make sure that your network is full of people who are helping you get to the next level. You don't want to be the top person in your network all the time. You want to be able to learn from people and grow and develop skills that you may not have. You're always learning, not just young professionals, all professionals are learning all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Kayla, what would you say, and if somebody's moving to Wayne County and there's nothing to do here, this community's boring, we hear that all the time, what would you say to them?
Well, I think it's a situation where if you have the outlook that there's nothing to do, no matter where you live, you're going to see that there's nothing to do. So whenever you come to Wayne County, if you just go in with it with, oh, there's all these cool things to do, then you're able to kind of pick up on, oh, hey, I want to do this. Oh, I want to do this, and not be so stuck in that mindset. And as soon as you realize all of the things that are out there, it becomes easier to see those opportunities and go take advantage of them.
Are there opportunities you're glad that you took a part of?
Yeah, I'm joining Hype Richmond is probably one of the big things. Not only did I meet my husband in Hype, but it's been such a way to get in the door and do so many other things and meet other young professionals. And that actually opened the door for choreography on Dancing with the Stars, because people knew that I had a dance background. And it just kind of has this ripple effect of the more people you know, the more people are saying, hey, you should be a part of this. And that keeps going.
I couldn't have asked you to say that better myself, so thank you. Kayla, you're a dog mom. Let's talk about that. Tell us a little bit about your dog, how you got him. I know this is something that you're really passionate about.
Yeah, so I have a greyhound. So she is a retired racing greyhound. She retired from Florida, and we got her during quarantine. And I've known that I wanted a greyhound for a while. I went to the University of Indianapolis. Our mascot's a greyhound, so that's kind of how I learned about the breed. And whenever my husband and I were deciding on what dog to get, it just so happened that one of the dogs that was available was named Paralegal. And so I just decided that that one was supposed to be mine. And she's been absolutely wonderful. We just completed obedience school with her at the Whitewater Valley Dog Training Club. And I mean, she does everything with me. She goes to the farmer's market. She goes to work with me. The only place I can't really take her is the courthouse right now. So she's been, she's my best friend. You probably hear her whining in the background.
I thought you had named her Paralegal. That's why I love that name for her, because it's perfect for you. Kayla, what do you love to do in Richmond? Like, what's your favorite? If you're going to go out to eat or go do something, where can we find you at on the weekends?
We like to do anything we can take our dog to. So farmers market's a big one. We go to the Arboretum, go to the Glen Miller, or the trail is a big thing that we do. Otherwise, whenever we don't have the dog, our favorite restaurant would be probably Gallows is mine. I don't know if that's the same for my
Ooh.
husband. Or Gulzar's. We both love Indian food. So those are the
Ooh.
two restaurants you'd find us at.
I always love to ask people that because I've done, I think, maybe 15 of these interviews now, and I've never had the same restaurant named twice. There's so many great places to eat in Wayne County, and people are always, I think we get stuck in our rut, like we always go to the same restaurants. And I actually haven't been to Gulzar's yet, so that's on my
Oh my
list of
goodness.
places too. I think I don't know what I would order there, so I maybe you and I should go sometime, and you can show me.
Yeah, you have to take somebody who knows what they knows about the menu.
Yes, that's exactly what, and maybe you're that person for me.
Mhm.
Kayla, is there other advice or anything you'd like to say to young professionals?
I think if you're looking at moving back to Wayne County and being a young professional in this community, I think it's important to take into consideration things like cost of living, the time that you're spending on traveling, things like parking, and those kinds of decisions are what ultimately led me to say, hey, this is actually a really great place to live because I have opportunities here. The cost of living is lower, and you don't have to contend with traffic and things like that I was looking at in the big city. So I think once you get here, it's up to you to kind of hit the ground running and figure out what is going to be your place and how you're going to serve the community and get involved in things like that. So that is my biggest piece of advice: is don't just count it out. Take into consideration all of the factors about what makes a community great to live in, and then get involved.
That's exactly what we would love to hear young professionals say, is that you have to take some responsibility on your own to get really involved. And once you do, this community will adopt you and hold you and make sure that you're successful in every way possible. So I love to hear other young professionals that are having that experience. Anything else you'd like to say to our audience today?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Can we cut that part out? I think I talked about everything.
Kayla, if somebody wants to reach you, how can they reach you? Are you on LinkedIn? Can they call the office? What can they do?
Yeah, you can call the office. That's the best way to get a hold of me. Our office again is Knoll, Kolger, Sowers, and Metzger. So just look up that, and you'll be able to reach us.
Perfect. Kayla, thank you so much for sitting down and chatting with me today. I'm excited to celebrate the work that you're doing in Wayne County. Thanks for being our Young Professional Highlight of the Month, and keep up the great work, and thanks for making Wayne County your home.
Thank you.